You see that?
Yeah, that just by itself is cool as hell.
Baroop, baroop.
How you doing today, Buck?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'd like to thank Sneaky for joining us, and also King Parent from Joystick is joining us as well. Joystick has a tournament coming up very soon that I'll let King talk about, but it sounds like it'll be fun. I'd like to play,
I
but I
just want
can't
to say,
find
like,
out how.
what the heck is that
What?
behind you, in game right now? Like, what are we
We
looking
ain't
at?
talking
What
about
is
that
that?
yet. Hold on.
What?
Why are you getting?
Whoa,
You're
okay,
supposed
fine.
to help. You're not supposed to
Hold on, dude.
distract.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. Now
Hold
I'm
on.
going to make me
You're getting me
bigger.
excited.
Oh, there we go. What are you talking about? I don't see anything behind me.
Oh, okay. See, now I'm not as worried anymore. Now I can focus.
All right. So, welcome everybody. So, the first thing I'm I'm gonna start with the news that some people are gonna like, some people aren't gonna like. There's gonna be a data wipe with this patch. There's been a bunch of new things put in. But the good news is that everybody that had lost their points isn't going to have that issue anymore. The reset shrine is going to always give you the correct amount of points back. So the this uh, patch 0.23 was all about boss fights. There's a lot of other stuff going in, but it was all about laying the foundation of the mechanics that will allow for adding more boss fights that are created by simply creating it and basically plugging it into the procedural generated dungeon. So it becomes one of the possible options at the end of the dungeon. A replacement of the old boss fight that is more structured and controlled and creative and has different. So I'm gonna actually do very brief description because I don't want to spoiler it for you guys. There's likely two boss fights going in with this patch. The first is currently, at least internally, be called the elemental boss, and there are stages in fighting this boss where you got to do certain things or attack certain things, and pay attention because there's different options of what you could go after, and then it's got a pretty cool attack, phase at the end phase of the boss fight. So that's really neat. The second one is interacting with a giant puzzle, and each time you do something right there, you have to fight more monsters. And I just did that one for the first time a couple days ago, and it was complete chaos. I'm like, I love this. This reminds me a lot of the old one. So both of them are coming along really well. But the important part is that it laid the foundation for being able to develop and build out boss fights and to just plug them into that framework. The first thing that's going to be new is that we've had some testing, a little bit of testing in the past. Had some of our players get on staging and test with me, and then moving forward, it's an entire program where we're going to test as much as humanly possible up until the patch release, so we can get the high level player feedback in before the patch goes live. So everybody should be excited about that. Angry Mosh Gonzo.
Just when is the patch and wipe happening?
Maybe next week. We'll have to see. Like the whole test process has to go.
But yeah, those players who are testing it with you could come up with some ideas and things that need to be changed that are going to be implemented. It takes time to add those. So
I wouldn't imagine it would be that much further than the week after. Okay, there's some other things that are going on. I'm going to just kind of start jumping down the list. I'm going to show it behind me here. You see it kind of coming over here? Oh, it's idle for too long. There's now an ended adventure summary is, I think, the official title. When you get done, you get an adventure summary, which also includes a list of everything people have looted in that dungeon.
Oh, that's really sick.
Yeah.
This also could lead to a leaderboard of things.
I know. Buck leaks.
Haha, sneaky leaks.
We also have some upcoming shadow abilities. So we have Shadow Blast, which is a kind of a mini jump slam that does a little bit of damage and adds a decay. Interesting.
Ooh.
We have Ignition Powder Grenade, which is throw a grenade and hits the target and makes them vulnerable to fire. Right.
Oh.
Yep. We've got elemental resistance coming on. Right. And then we've got Exploding Kunai. Very cool, right?
Yeah, that's sick. This all sounds amazing, especially for the elemental boss.
Mm-hmm.
Brings another like layer of interaction between the abilities.
Yeah, the interesting thing, I mean, and that includes like, hey, let's improve this by adding this effect. So if you do and we'll see if all this gets in, but like, say, maybe the fixer's healing aura has a resistance, has a resistance buff to it, or if you something on the Shadow Blade where you dodge or something, it increases your evasion. Like things like that are starting to be looked at into the different abilities. The Chronomancer, and I think this will make it in, but it may not, so don't hold me to it. If it's not, it'll be in the next patch probably. The Meteor Shower. Okay, I will do this. Again, I'm trying to tease because I don't want to spoil it all for you. Oh, there we go.
See, just that by itself is cool as shit, though.
You see that?
Yeah, that just by itself is cool as hell.
See that? A little bit more stuff going on over here, right?
Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, don't go from there. Don't spoil it anymore. Don't go from there. Stop.
Okay.
Oh wow.
A little bit of sneaky peeky world boss event. Actually, it will not be in this patch. It will very likely be in the next patch. Public events where more than one group can get in and participate.
Whoa.
What?
Big sneaky leaks here. Big
What?
sneaky leaks here. I mean, as you guys can see, there's
I'm a hacker.
a lot for us to explore. I mean, if I'm going to be honest
good.
here, I think it's breathtaking.
I could have probably given more, but I wanted you guys, like, I want you guys to be able to see it when you see it. You know what I mean? I want you, this is why I'm teasing it. I just wanted you guys to see it and let you know there's so much work going on. So we're still not through this. So let's go back and continue through the list, and then I'll do some sneaks about what didn't make it into this patch is likely into the next patch. But there's just really exciting stuff. There is also, and it may make it into this, may not, but I wanted to tell you guys about it. There is this is, again, teaser. What else are you seeing here?
Well, I mean, the way it's just structured is so much better. And your head is sitting next to the passive tree.
Okay, you see this?
The passive tree, yes.
Okay, so there's a couple things going on. One is that there's passive tree, and the passive tree is going to be a way to, and again, I'm only going to give you part of it because I want you guys to, like be able to discover it on your own, to be able to increase the number of bags your pocket watch can hold, increase the number of slots in the pocket watch.
Oh shit!
Get access to your personal pocket universe and other things. Okay. And then the other thing is that you notice the little icons, which are very likely placeholder skills, or have been made and expanded on a bit to require trainers to get to unlock parts of the skill tree. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're going to be able to interact with trainers in the open world?
You're going to have to find them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, on how that works, but I just know.
So basically there could be a chance that they could be in the dungeons or in the open world. We just, as players, are going to have to find them. That's really awesome.
Yeah, so next thing is some general combat fixes. One thing I forgot to tell you guys, which I thought was probably like one of the biggest surprises when I first took a look at the passive skill tree, is that you can upgrade. When you're knocked out and you've got that little little fist attack thing you could do.
Yes.
Okay, there you have the ability to unlock different DB&O skills, which I thought was
Oh
pretty
my
neat.
God.
Ah,
That's awesome. That's so cool. I didn't think you guys would expand on that, but that's really interesting.
okay,
I
so
mean, I just consistently, like, every single update has been, huge, massive things added, like you were saying, and like I think it just this one's the same, and maybe even more. This is awesome.
which passive?
Buck, has there been
Go ahead.
has there been any meaningful changes to the cadence of battle by putting in balancing features between player damage, player health, mob damage?
Right now, right now, though, my last run through dev, I got my ass beat. So yes, but it's one of the things that'll be fleshed out and helped with the player testing. So we get the feel right for the the experienced players. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Personal Pocket Universe. Yeah, that's the Personal Pocket Universe is where you attach your space. Everybody gets a Personal Pocket Universe. Real quick, getting back to running through the list here. Combat fixes, Arrow Volley and Shuriken are now properly aligned with Reticle. Two-handed swords had one of their combat stages in the combos was a shield or shoulder bash. You had to be right on top of them for that to land, so that's been fixed. And then Soul Drain and the Data Points quest now has respawning monsters attached to that mechanic, so if you run out, they'll pop back up. Some other ones, Sneaky actually was one that recommended that first. I think the first one to recommend Sit and Rest is no longer taking up an action bar slot.
Yes, you're right.
It
I've been praising that for months.
it may still show up as default one, but the actual key is Z.
So there's an option to take it off and use it. That's amazing.
Well, I just removed the
Is there
icon
an
and
option
replaced
to
it.
bind that ourselves?
I guess you could rebind Z. Healing now has green fly-up text. Pugilists won't be knocking you down as often as they were. Okay, vendors now have better possible items for sale, like maybe more affixes. Global chat will no longer ping, and then there's some cool improvements for skills and pocket watches. I already showed you one where you can roll over the icon and roll the mouse to have the information panel scroll. So, really quick, that's all I have to tease for you today for 0.23. Things likely in 0.24 are already explained public events. These will be like portals that spawn around the world, and there's a little notification that, so-and-so public event has spawned, so people could roll and take that out. Those are shaping up to be really interesting, fun. Bounties, daily, weekly quests.
Oh, hype.
Yeah, we have gem crafting coming up, and the gems you will socket into weapon slots. And
Oh, really?
yeah, they will allow you to change some of the attributes of the weapon. Well, not necessarily attributes, but again, I don't want to give the full details on this, so I'm going to tease like maybe one thing that you could change. You could actually change one of the stages of the combo.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Your left and right
or
clicks? That's
or multiple
so
stages.
cool.
Yeah, you can like basically
You can customize it.
customize your combos. Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to keep getting more complex, and there's going to be cooler and cooler things coming in. There's going to be eventually, hopefully in the short term, there's going to be a bunch more unique items.
You excited about the shadow update, Sneaky?
Oh, I'm really excited because
Okay.
it's adding a level of depth to the abilities. He was saying that, it's going to enhance the fire damage that you do. So if you use that before you use your oil trap and before you use your fire blast and then ignite the mobs, I can also enhance chronomancer damage that way as well as my own. So there's an extreme complexity to the
It's
skills and
just at the
combinations
beginning
that
with
you
this
do.
too. Yeah.
Either way, though, Buck, it does sound like the devs are paying attention to, making the game have a synergy layer with teams working together and playing off the classes. So the feedback that you've given today is really exciting.
It's really important to remember that the devs are building out each one of these. They got to build out the personal pocket universe and the space and all that, and make it editable and functional. They got to, build out the framework for boss fights, so you can literally just develop a boss fight and then plug it into the procedurally generated dungeons. They have to build out the underlying systems before they can start doing the fluff. So one of the things I did this time with, again, my new process of going through every single ticket, writing down all the questions, going to each dev and asking whatever questions I need, and the dev team has been amazingly supportive in this, given how busy they are. I asked them each to give me kind of like, what if you had to name like one thing that you were excited about with this patch, what would it be? And because I want to share that with the community, so I'm going to do that now. I asked Martin, the principal engineer. He said all the stuff that is about to be crammed in this week. So, like I said about putting things in. I asked Will, he's a senior technical designer, and he said the elemental boss fight, I've been exclusively working on that for roughly 3 weeks. And it's been awesome. We play and test it every day, and he's like, elemental boss fight feedback number 4, and he writes all the feedback in there and evolves it. So yeah, I'm excited about that. TJ, principal designer, and he's also working on the other boss fight that I mentioned to you. He said, I think it'll be the boss fights, getting the first passes of better and more deliberate boss fight designs rolling so we can continue to build even bigger and better ones. And then I asked Doug, the director of ops, who I report to, and he's an amazing boss. And he runs the community customer support and QA teams. He said the introduction of boss fight mechanics, having the unique encounters, makes gameplay more fun and gives an overall experience more personalized. As we continue to build and grow the game, it's an important step to take to set the stage for more boss fights and even changes to individual enemy AI. And then I asked Matt, the CTO, and the guy leading the charge on the game creation, and he said the boss fights. He said it's a reason for the patch. So if you guys like this, like hearing from the devs like this, I'll continue to get bits of information like this and share it with you guys. Cool.
I think it's really exciting to hear it all. Honestly, it does help, and I think it answers a lot of people's questions.
It's something I saw just playing into the idea of synergies and shadow blades buffing chronos with fire and elemental. And this is why everybody should go into the forums and post their ideas, right? Because sometimes some really good stuff comes out of that. But one thing that I saw, which I thought would be cool for a Time Warrior, is if potentially, maybe it's through the gem system, or maybe it is through another class applying an ability to the Time Warrior to imbue that Time Warrior with, say, like flame. So if, for example, if a Chronomancer hit the Time Warrior with an elemental skill, then his spin to win would become like a fire spin to win, or a tornado of fire. So basically it could become powerful, but only when you're playing in a team.
That's actually been talked about, but will probably happen after all the classes get their own, once they're in a solid place and they start doing the like the combination synergies. But I have heard it talked about, so it's
Hashtag Buck Leaks.
Hashtag Morkai League, I guess.
That's exciting, because that's the kind of synergies I think we can all agree as a community that's what we want to see.
I got a chance to read over the economic explainer doc, and there's so much cool stuff in it. Like it is more depth than I expected, which is neat, because it's going to allow for a variety of ways that we can leverage it. We have a team of people working really, really hard on every single day, and I know you guys are eager for it. As somebody who's have the same vested interest you guys do, I don't want them to rush it. I want them to take whatever time they need to get it right, and that doesn't mean months. That's like days to weeks at most. I think it's going to come out sooner than you think, though, because they've got a ton of stuff. I think Zeb said today that he and his team have done like 60 images, like explainer images for it. So